The southeast side of Chicago was once home to over 100,000 steel industry jobs, vibrant community, and immigrants from all over the world. Our community never fully recovered after industry collapsed, and many environmental obstacles stood in the way of redevelopment. But the Invert took on that challenge with a creative solution to go underground.
So our plan at the Invert Chicago is to revive an old steel mill site and bring opportunity back to the southeast side, to build a state-of-the-art subsurface facility that will create 6 million square feet of new real estate, 40 to 60 new businesses, over 3,000 permanent new jobs in the region, over 500 construction jobs.
Jobs in industries such as vertical farming, food distribution, office and retail, cold storage, light manufacturing, and more.
We often get asked by the surrounding community, has this ever been done before? And it turns out underground facilities are all over the place. They're here in Chicago, from Pedway, Lower Wacker Drive, underground parking garages, and all sorts of industrial and commercial complexes all over the world. And Kansas City is actually a prime example of underground industrial real estate.
I couldn't really wrap my head around what this idea was, this subtropolis underground. What I saw in Kansas City was a very innovative, sustainable ecosystem that I didn't think was even possible.
A lot of rhetoric is out there about how do you create a sustainable community with employment opportunities, with a good residential opportunity for folks to live in and play in. And I think this is actually the culmination and realization of that.
We need to build an ecosystem, and that ecosystem is bringing big development, which then employs or provides project opportunities to small businesses. Those small businesses then employ those individuals within those communities, which creates an ecosystem of opportunities and impact.
We're a blue-collar community. We know how to work with our hands, but we need more than just that, right? We need to be able to expand and be able to have different jobs. And that's what the Invert plans to do, to bring hundreds of construction jobs. But on top of that, thousands of permanent, diverse, new economy jobs that are sustainable and are gonna help generations to come.
And there is no location more ideal than the southeast side of Chicago.
It's an area that is strategically located, has these great logistical and transportation infrastructure assets that are incredibly valuable.
Our river is a working river from 92nd to 137th. It's the only way to the St. Lawrence Seaway. We have ships that come from Poland and Ireland and all over the world.
Anytime you can use water and rail, you mitigate your cost immediately. And the Invert would use both, primarily. It's the most economical.
So sustainability is really important to our team and is really central to our project. And it really starts with the fact that an underground facility is going to be naturally insulated from the outdoor elements. And that translates to substantial energy savings. And if you think about it, we're essentially carving the facility out from the existing bedrock underground. And because of that, we're needing significantly less building materials than you would otherwise need to import from somewhere else. You know, that's tons and tons of steel, of concrete, of roofing material, of glass, and all sorts of other construction materials that we just don't need to consume. We're also planning to build a substantially sized solar field, enough to power 1,200 homes. Also looking at geothermal energy. All this to say, we're expecting significant carbon footprint savings compared to your traditional surface building.
And speaking of above ground, thanks to our community outreach efforts, we have a plan for the surface of our property too.
I know growing up, we had limited resources available. My daughter, we had her in softball, and we actually started traveling to our neighboring Northwest Indiana to have her compete at a higher level of softball. And that's when I realized, like, why do I have to travel outside of my own neighborhood to have this opportunity for my daughter? Like, there are so many kids in our community who want that same opportunity as my daughter, but unfortunately don't have access to it.
It's a big opportunity for the community to really be involved in the project. This is putting you at the table, involving you in the conversation, elevating your voice, your questions, your concerns, your ideas. Through these meetings and these conversations, we realized that we had to do something on the surface of the property. It was important to the community. So now it has evolved that the east side of the parcel will be recreational space for the community. And that means a community center, a soccer field, a softball field, a pond, and walking trails.
Even from my own organizing experience, I know that air pollution is a top concern in the surrounding community. So our plan is actually to improve the air quality through all of the native planting we're going to be doing, the ecological restoration on our property, and also by incorporating innovative outdoor air filtration technology as well.
So we're going to beautify that industrial corridor so the community can be motivated and inspired by what they see.
So what's in store next for the Invert Chicago?
The story of our Southeast Side community for many years has been one of neglect, of environmental and economic challenge. This is a chance for us to rewrite that narrative together.
We want safety in the neighborhood. We want, people to economically succeed. We want all kids to be educated and all kids to be safe.
We have this legacy of being able to dream big and do things that people in other parts of the world never thought about. Even from our design, right? The skyscraper landscape in Chicago is something that is just worldwide, world renowned. The industry out here was world renowned as well. What does the next phase of industry in the US look like?
And it's innovative ideas like Invert Chicago that will challenge us to get there much sooner and much faster.
With development of this magnitude and development developed in this way, this is going to set the precedent for the future.